Mr. Channing Benjamin, we appreciate you coming on today. What they call the hottest man in photography in the golf world. So thank you so much. We know you got a lot of accolades to your name. We've done some research and we appreciate you coming on. And so we're excited just to get to know you a little bit better and hear your story too, and hear how you came up and you've just blown up in this photography golf world. I know you've been doing it for obviously 10 plus years for a while now, but I'm excited to hear your process and what your passion for through photography is for sure.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you both. And
Yes.
I don't do a lot of podcasts, but I've done my share of them. And it's kind of
Okay.
there's a fine line of the tell all and like I'm pretty good at just basically telling all. I got nothing to hide. I'm clean. I'm not hiding from anybody. So
Good.
you throw it out there, and if I can answer it, I'll be happy to.
Well, good. Well, one question just going off of that is a lot of people know your photographs, but they
Mm.
don't know you. I've heard that you do like to stay in the shadow through your photographs, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool because a lot of people like your photographs and have seen them. They're very well renowned, but they don't know you specifically. So, how have you
Perfect.
been able to do that, or do you enjoy that? What would you like it a different way?
Interesting, great question, and I'm torn. I don't think there's any benefit for me to be on camera in front of the camera too much. I think it kind
Mhm.
of takes away from the art. I'd like to focus, like literally. I mean, I would rather someone not have any like preconceived, like I don't want them to see me and assume anything. I don't want them to
Mhm.
like have any prejudice toward me for any reason, not because of skin color or age or anything
Mhm.
like that, but just the fact that you don't know who did it, so you're going to appreciate
Yeah.
it. It's neutral. And then when I put myself out there, I'm not who people think I am anyway, so it's like I don't know what they think I am, but I've had several friends that are in the same space
Mhm.
try to encourage me to get in front of the camera more because they're like, dude, you're a cool dude, or
Mhm.
like you got an interesting story, and I think people would love that. And I'm just kind of like torn. So that's always been an interesting thing, and so I try to balance it out because of the social media influencing type of thing. I've tried to put myself a little bit out there, especially with my golf swing more than anything else, because that's what people
Yeah.
really can just relate to. And you know, so that's where I am with it. I'm not sure where I am with it really. I'm just like right there. I'm just kind of like, you don't need too much of me. I'd love for my work to represent me, because when I'm gone, that's what it is, right? That's
Mhm.
that's the legacy that you leave as your art. So
And I can definitely tell you it does. It definitely represents you very well. So
thank you.
it's fantastic.
And I was to kind of ricochet off the golf swing thing. I was going to say, Easton and I can relate to a lot of people in the golf world just because we're a little bit worse at the game. So I feel like there's a lot of poor golfing out there.
I
Man,
saw you were through a lot of holes though yesterday and shooting par or a couple days ago. I forget.
yeah,
So you're a pretty good player.
it's funny. Like golf is hard, right? And it was never, I'd say, easy for me, but I was
Mhm.
totally up for the challenge. Like I don't like to get into anything and kind of half has it, right? I need to
Mhm.
get out. You know, if it's a photograph, if it's got whatever it is, if I'm in it, my name's on it, and I'm trying to like, I'm not gonna play golf if I'm not playing well. It's just like it doesn't work for me. I would love to drink on the golf course. I would love to do other things on the golf course, but
Yeah.
I don't do any of that because my whole point in being there is not for that. It's to like I already know what's going to happen. It's not going to be good for my situation, but I noticed a lot of people don't play golf well. It's not a thing that
Yeah.
you just like. It's hard. Golf is hard, and I've been able to kind of figure it out, I guess. I mean,
That's great.
I'm a scratch golfer, and so we
Man,
can.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I would never. I mean, I wasn't. I haven't been playing that long. But I have. I mean, I started golf in '97, so.
Okay.
Um, uh, so yeah, I mean, I guess I've been playing for a while. It seems like yesterday, but I know people have been playing their whole life. So
Yeah.
I was like 27 or something or 26 or something when I started
Okay.
playing golf. And I know guys that grew up playing the game. So anyway, I don't want to get ahead of your questions in case that was
No.
No,
Just
some.
let it go.
Yeah,
We're
we
just gonna
want
let
you
it
to have the
flow. We'll
floor
be the
for sure.
moderator.
All right,
and
you
we'll
want
just
the real
cruise through
story?
it.
I'll give you the
Yeah.
real story.
Works.
You ready for this? Okay,
Yeah.
I've only told this maybe once or twice, but this is the truth, and I'm not embarrassed by it because this is just
Yeah.
really what it is. So in the mid '90s, late
Mm-hmm.
'90s, I had never played golf. I hit ball. I'm from Indiana. I remember my godparents letting me go into their backyard in a cornfield, like a field of just weeds, and they had these white golf balls with these red stripes on it, and this guy had these and he would let me go out there and just pound balls into the corn stalks. Right, I thought that was super cool. That was the most golf I've ever played. But in the late '90s, EA Sports came out with this Tiger Woods game, and my buddy and I, we were kind of in between things, and we were partying a little bit, and we'd do nothing. We would just basically play this game, and I learned how to play golf literally by playing this EA Sports. Like I figured out a 9-iron was 140 yards. Like I figured out
Wow.
everything
Yeah, of
on
course.
this game. So we got good at the game. But I was like, it was awesome, right? We were having fun with this game, and then I just decided we should go out. I mean, go out and try to play the game of golf.
Uh-huh.
And that's literally how I got into golf. There was nobody that, put their arm around me. Come on, son, let's go learn how to play golf.
Mhm.
It was like Tiger Woods, EA Sports, let's go. And so we had a good time doing that, but that's how I picked it up. And then, I had a couple buddies that got into it, and it just kind of snowballed from there. But I thought
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird way. It's
That's great.
like, really? That's how you learn? Like I learned a 5-iron goes. I mean, I was clueless, right? So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other
That's
people out there.
awesome.
That's why I said that. I know there are other people out there that picked up golf through a video game. So
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
just the notion of how much Tiger Woods has impacted people from just a video game to go play the game of golf. I mean, he's forever
100%.
changed the game. It's
100%. And it was like in that time, you can imagine, like 96, he won the Masters on
man.
97. That was when I was getting into it. And it just was like, it was huge.
The tiny Tiger with the baggy clothes and the
We're some youngins over here, so we would have loved to see him play in that era. Oh my goodness.
I was
Always see his
all
videos.
about it. I watched it religiously. And I actually remember back in Indiana, Tiger Woods did a clinic at a junior golf place, like a small clinic. I mean, he was Tiger Woods then, but it was like there were like 200 people there. And I remember going to see him. I do this clinic. Like that would have been, it's not even possible these days to do that. But
No.
yeah, those were the days. And that's funny. You guys are young. You didn't get to experience that because I don't really think there's been anything like it. Like I don't think there's any legend of the game right now or has been since him, right?
Yeah. No, he still is the guy right
thing
now.
is maybe Rory, kinda a little bit, just because he's kinda him and Tiger are so close and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, nobody touches Tiger as far as legacy and that stuff.
Well, those were the days. Now look at it. That poor guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely had a unique story, and I do want to get into how you've transitioned to golf photography. And we did some digging, and we realized you're Indiana Wesleyan grad.
Yeah, so I
That's
went to
fantastic.
different schools, but I graduated from Indiana Wesleyan. And the funny thing is that I paid my way through school, which is an interesting thing. I went to college. I went to college in Virginia, got an apartment, partied like a rock star. Everybody used to come to my. That didn't work at all. I ended up going back to Indiana and going to Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis. And my parents, they didn't cut me off, but they were basically like, you're on your own. If you're not going to perform, you're going to pay for your school. Got a job at an ABC affiliate doing technical directing. So I was, which is interesting, right? Like I was directing a talk show, and then I got a job working at a church. My dad was a pastor of a church. So I actually went into the church, and they had a television ministry. And I remember learning the whole process. They had state of the art equipment in there. And I was like, doing that. And then so I got this job for the Indiana Pacers as their video director in house, and I was doing really well. People were like, "Man, he's got an eye. I could switch." I was cutting, I was calling shots, but my passion was always music. So
Really?
I decided that I need to be a video director for music, and what
Uh-huh.
should I do? And so someone hooked me up with a person who managed a place called Deer Creek Music Center. It was in Indiana. Where are you guys based?
We're in the Kansas City area.
Yeah. So so what's a big outdoor amphitheater you guys have there where all the concerts?
Oh, we have
There's a few.
there's a couple. Theater in the
Okay.
Park. We have
Yeah.
Starlight Theater, which is
Starlight.
downtown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so like, big amphitheater, thousands of people, everybody goes and performs there. So I was a video director at this place called Deer Creek Music Center. And while I was doing all that, I was paying my way through college and paying my way through school. So, I was getting like hands on, like, I always tell people it's great to have a degree and go out and look for a job. But the guy that's going to get hired is the guy that's got some experience, right?
Experience, yeah,
So,
100%.
I mean, like, if I went and told them, yeah, I worked for 4 years and I was doing, they're like, oh, well, come on. And you have a college degree. So it actually worked out for me. So I ended up,
That's great.
yeah, going to school, graduating. And then right after I graduated, I moved to Los Angeles. I felt like in Indiana, I was big fish in a little pond. I was crushing it. I really did. I was like, I was doing really well. I had a nice business, but I was like, I need to go something bigger, right? There's
Mhm.
something bigger out there. So I got hooked up as the video director for NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, and Britney Spears, and Pink, and Cisco, and like I was directing like all these groups. Sorry, I'm changing glasses because I can't see
You're
anymore.
fine.
I've been through three pair of glasses trying to like look at the screen, like which one's gonna work.
We
Um,
love it.
yeah, so I was a video director. This is the story. So as a video director doing live concerts around the world, I got
Wow.
to travel and I got to learn how to play golf. So all of us that were like out there, that there weren't many of us, but there's a handful of people that love golf. When you're on the road like that, your downtime, golf is everything, right? So we used to trade tickets to like, NSYNC at in Orlando. We played Bay Hill. We would trade tickets to like golf pros, because they all loved this band, and we would
Of
That's,
all be
course.
that's
playing,
genius.
and
Yeah,
we'd be playing the finest golf courses, and I sucked, right? So I'm out there, but everybody sucked because nobody was good.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
was the deal. That was like, man, that was everything. I learned. So this was like 98, 99, 2000, 2001, all that's going on. And I really learned the game out there. And then I moved back to LA. Brittany lost her mind, stopped touring. Justin decided to do his own thing, broke up with NSYNC. I'm
Mhm.
like, what am I going to do? This, like,
Mhm.
I haven't, like, I'm not even from LA. I'm back in LA. Well, I made
Yeah.
some good money, and I made enough money to where I decided, well, I'm going to play golf. I'm just going to
Mhm.
like take a year off. Something's going to come up, and I'll just golf. So I met these, and I played a lot of golf. I mean, there's a place in LA called Rancho Park. It's world
Mhm.
famous. They have the most rounds played annually of any golf course in the country at Rancho
Wow.
Park. There's a crappy driving range. There's a crappy. The golf course is great, but the range sucks. But I spent a lot of time there because they got a lot of games, a lot of little action. There's little hustlers over there doing these little putting games in LA, and so
Mhm.
I've learned how to play golf through that experience, and just moving forward, just quickly to get through that,
Yeah.
the life lesson in all this is that um, you never know where life's going to take you, right? So it's
Yeah.
really interesting. Like I was crushing it, big fish, little pond, moving to LA, and I got this great job, and then all of a sudden I had no job, and I'm thinking, well, it's going to come back, I mean, then take it a little. It took a while, and so I was doing some freelance work, but I never landed another like big job, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I'm playing a ton of golf. I love golf. I freaking love golf. I'm like golf. But my dad used to call me a golf bum. I remember that was like he crushed me. This is a true
That's
story. And
a
I was like,
that's a that's
what?
a good term.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
take that as a
that's a
compliment to
compliment.
us.
Yeah.
Dude, what at that time it wasn't a good term. Trust me. I was like, I
Yeah.
was yeah, they're like, well, are you working or what are you doing? Like, are you just
Mhm.
playing golf, right? So I decided, my buddy said, hey, why don't you go work in the golf industry and like I don't know. And I'm like, do what? And like, you're like, you got it together. You got a degree. You can be like a head pro,
Mhm.
or why don't you go work at? There's that new big old golf store in the west side of LA. Why don't you go run that place or something? I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know. So I went into that golf store. This is a true story at, like 29, 30 years old or something, 29. That, hey, I'm just looking for something part time in between gigs. I love golf. I hear I can get some discounts if I work here. Like I just will work here part time, and I actually loved it. I was in this
Mhm.
store, and the guy's like, well, what are you gonna do? You have any retail experience? And I was like, no, I actually have never worked in retail, but I have a degree and I'm a golfer. And he's like, but I don't, he said, you won't be able to run this place like with no experience like that. And I'm like, yeah, I can. He's like, no, you can't. He's like, if you want to work here part time, first of all, you've made way too much money. You're overqualified, but I'm going to give you a chance. You need to be a cashier though. And I was like, what? You do what? I'm sorry. I still think that's the craziest thing because I went like,
That's
this is,
outrageous.
this is my little life lesson story I'm telling you guys because I went like
Yeah.
popping my collar to complete humility, like I'm ringing somebody
Mhm.
up. Like it's not a grocery store, but it felt like that, right? And so,
Right.
but
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm going, all right, but I love golf, and if I need to learn how this whole thing works,
Mhm.
I'll bring somebody up. I'll do this for a couple weeks. So that's what happened. I did that for a few weeks. Went into like the shoe department, went to the club department, and learned about. This is when the Pro V1 just came out. By the way, it was like
Oh,
brand
really?
new, hottest thing ever. Nobody could even get the Pro V1. I remember that. There was a 983K driver Titleist that Ernie Els used to play. This is Tiger Woods. This was all going on. Golf was good, but when I got in there, I did realize I'm clueless, dude. I don't know the difference in cover of a golf ball. I don't know, like the forge, iron or forge or cat. What are you talking about? It's like, I don't know, offset, cavity bag. I have no idea, right? So then it hit me, but I learned it. And then I took a job as the manager, and I did that for like a year. And then they offered me a store to manage in Palm Springs.
Oh, wow.
And I just met my wife, and I'm going, am I like, what am I doing? What happened? How did
Mhm.
I? It's like 2 years now. I'm like in this thing, and I'm going, but I'm making some money, but I'm also losing my creative like spirit. I'm becoming like this like
Mhm.
retail boy, right? So I met my wife. We decided we were getting married. Cost of living in Palm Springs area is a lot better than Los Angeles, and there's like 500 golf courses in Palm Springs or something, right? And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
the golf capital of the world, no brainer. I'm out. I'm going to run this store, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
I took that gig. So then I had this like, so the moral of that story is you never know where life's going to take you.
Yeah.
Um, People go, how did you get to where you are? What's the secret? What? There's no secret. I just basically had to humble myself and hustle and figure out like what I wanted to do, like really, and
Mhm.
like this thing called passion and purpose, right? So
Mhm.
like golf is my passion, but my purpose is like creative arts. And so how can I marry those two together
Mhm.
and crush it? Was that ever in my mind to be? No, but a few years down the road in being in Palm Springs, I said to myself, well, first of all, I'm bored out of my mind. Like I gotta do something. Second of all, I'm wasting my gift, right? So I have
Mhm.
this gift. I know I have a gift because people used to
Mhm.
tell me I was really good when I was young at doing big job things. And people are like, man, you got the eye, you know how to see things, you have the. So I was wasting my gift. And then I decided that I would start taking pictures with my phone, right? So got a cell phone, garbage pictures. I mean, this is like a flip phone, right? But I'm taking these pictures, and one of these guys that worked with me at that store in LA, he called me after I moved to Palm Springs. I'll never forget. He goes, um, "Do you have MySpace?" He's like,
Mhm.
"Do you have?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Dude, you should go there because it's like this like little networking thing. You can put some
Oh
pictures
yeah.
on there and that kind." So I got started this MySpace account. Went on to MySpace, and nothing really happened, but kind of transitioned directly to Facebook. Facebook came up, and then I remember in 2010 or something, Instagram came up. So when
Mhm.
Instagram came up, I was still shooting cell phone pictures, but
Mm.
I didn't understand what Instagram was. I thought it was basically a free cloud service, right? And I was like, dude, I have 1,000 photos. I'm just gonna upload all these photos to Instagram, and like then I can delete these. This is before you had like
Right.
space, like cloud space or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
just start dumping these photos, and all of a sudden I started getting these like I was like, oh, who are these people like liking this? People are like liking my photos, and I'm like, what's going on? So then it all came together. It hit me that that was there's hashtags, and so next thing I know,
Mm.
2013 maybe Golf Digest reaches out to me, and they're like, hey,
Wow.
we like your stuff. They started sharing, and then organically my social media following happened. Like people, the Golf Works WRX had voted me the number
Mhm.
one follow on Instagram. I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
what is that all about? Like I have no idea what I'm doing, right? How am I like the number one follow? But apparently I'm posting the right stuff. So I tried to figure
Yeah.
out what the secret was, like what am I posting? And what I realized is I'm posting a lot of player perspective photos. So
Mhm.
you and I can relate to being in the bunker, or we can relate
Yep.
to that lie in behind the tree. I was shooting some funky angles, and I was shooting some cool shots in a lot, definitely golden hour, sunrise, sunset, and
Mhm.
people were attracted to that. I could tell. So my next move was to get a camera, and it was like, well, this is cool. So here's the other part. So being a
So this was
video,
still all with cell phone.
this is all garbage, cell phone, but it wasn't
Wow.
garbage
Wow.
because I'll tell you this, I got a Samsung. This is a big deal, like in
Okay.
2012 or something. The it was clean. I was like, wow, this is like really good. And when I would post it looked good. I was kind of proud, and I
Mhm.
was like, this is good. And I didn't move into like the iPhone era at all because I didn't like the camera um,
Mhm.
on the phone. So I was
Yeah.
like as an Android guy.
Yeah.
But the rest of the story goes like this. So I'm shooting. I was a video director. I only have an eye, right? So I'm calling shots. So I'm telling camera one, get the guy with the guitar string, blah blah.
Right.
I know
Yep.
music. But I have no idea about technical, like cameras. I'm clueless. Like I had an engineer next to me all the time. He would do what's called
Right.
shading. He would bring the exposure down. I would tell him it's too hot. That's just I would always say, man, it's too
Mm.
hot or it's too dark. And this guy would be doing coloring and shading. But so now if I get a camera, like a real camera, like what am I going to do with it? Because I have no
Right.
idea how to work it.
And
The
those
stuff
things can get confusing for
they
sure.
can get so confusing, and so then I'm like, well, I'm not a photographer though. So I'm not a photographer because I don't even know how to work a freaking camera. I didn't go to photos. I didn't study
Mhm.
cameras in high school. I'm a artist. I'm a digital content creator or something like that, right? I'm not a photographer, but if I'm going to be like in this space, I need to learn how to work a camera. So I
Right.
got a camera. I did a whole bunch of YouTube studying, and this is a true story. I don't. So for anybody out there watching, that's you go online. I mean, that you guys are probably not with everything,
Yeah.
right? You can learn how to do anything and everything through like YouTube instructional videos and that type of thing. So I learned how to work a camera. I learned how to change aperture. Aperture, that word is like just I don't know what that means. Aperture. I know
Yeah.
I understood that and exposure and ISO settings and all these settings. So then I'm like, oh boy, now I'm like shooting stuff. So I'm getting these photos now and I'm posting them and they look like professional, right? They look good. I'm kind of proud of it. And then I really made
Mhm.
an effort to shoot specifically only that way with a real camera. And I think
Wow.
people saw the difference, and I got
Yeah.
the feedback. And then somebody called, and they're like, "Hey, we love your work. So what do you charge to shoot a golf course?" I'm like, "Oh, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is. There it is. It's like this just happens to be. I don't want to name the place because it's a pretty big time place, but so people think that because of my past that I've been in the business for 30 plus years, right? But I haven't been a photographer for 30 plus years. But I think they assume
Mm.
that I had, and so I sold them on me shooting the course. And I did a little homework, and the hardest part is to find out what you charge people to shoot a golf course. I'm like digging deep. I'm like, what do these guys charge? I don't know what to charge this guy. I'm like, I need $100,000 if I can get on. Like, I'm broke, right? Not really, but I mean, I'm like, I'm gonna get as much as I possibly can.
Oh yeah.
But I also
whatever
need to
you think you're worth.
But you need to recognize that you got to build a portfolio. So you got to start somewhere. So my reaction was to just tell me what you're working with. It's an honor to do it. Be happy to do it. Did that first job, and then doors started opening up, and then the drone came out, and I was like, oh, what is this? So here's another story. Am I going too fast? Am I giving you too much information?
This is
no, seriously. We have questions about all this stuff anyways. So
well, here it is. I'm just throwing it out there. So
yes, of
I'm
course.
playing golf at a super high-end club, like the most high-end club I've ever been with. And one of the guys who's hosting me is very wealthy.
Can I actually back you up? I do have a question a little bit previous ago. So when you were at the retail space and you just got married to your wife, I think a lot of people are in the situation that we are. He's in a strong relationship for a long time. I'm getting married in 4 weeks. So thank you. So we're in this process, of figuring out what our life needs to look like, and the fear of right now. I know I believe you're a man of faith. And how was that process for you of going out on your own and realizing that, my purpose, I'm losing my creative purpose now. How was that period through you and your wife, and through that process? Just how did you handle that?
So interestingly enough, she doesn't know me from anything creative. I met her in that retail store. Actually, she was the apparel buyer, and I was like, "Damn, she's hot." I kept checking her out. She would walk by, but I'm her boss, sort of, and I was just like checking her out. And I met, so she doesn't know me. So I keep telling her I've had like 3 other lives you don't know about, but they're all good. But you are now my new life, where before, so for her, I don't think she understands the void that I had creatively. I'm a drummer too. The only thing I used to tell her all the time is that I miss my drums, because in LA we moved to this apartment and I couldn't take my kid to kill me, right? So I had no creative outlet. I couldn't play drums. Again, no video, there's no nothing. But transitioning down to the desert and we're going to get married. The number one thing for me, I dropped all the like, I'm this, that. I need to make a living and support my wife. I don't care what I'm doing. Like I'm the man of the house now, right? I'm like, what am I going to, I'll ring people up if I have to, for like whatever you have to do to be the man of the house, which is mean to be a provider, right?
Yeah.
And I know I was going to have children, and when I did have kids, I have a 15-year-old now and a 12-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old son. But when I was going to have kids, man, you're talking about scary. So you guys are in this. You're going to have children. You better have your stuff together, because I mean, what kind of guy, like, who you can't provide? Like, why are you having children if you can't provide for your children, or you're not going to commit to providing? That's a big thing. And so like I realized that, and I wasn't going to do anything to jeopardize my employment. I went through some BS too. Like I needed to have a stable job while I was creating this other thing. So I was hustling. That's what it ends up being. I was hustling. I was maintaining a general manager role at a large retail golf store, but on the side, I was creating images, and so I had 2 jobs. But I'm not stupid, so I'm like, I have health insurance. I got, like, I'm not going to lose that. I have 2 kids. What I mean, plus I was on that other side for 10 years. And I saw, as a freelancer and an independent person, it goes like this. You can't go like that with a wife and kid. So that's my, like, you need to have it together, and you just need to, it's not going to be perfect, but that transition for me was good. I mean, I was a provider. I crushed it. I didn't make nearly the kind of money that I wanted to, or that I felt like I should, but I was secure. I was able to take care of my family, and that's it. Like,
that's great.
That's all that matters. I took them on a vacation here and there. We were always like grinding. I was never like, nothing was like, there was always like, how are we out of money? like what happened? Like every month, like what is going on? Where at the end of the month we just tapped out. It's like this is impossible. Like how do people survive? You know, I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real with you guys because
Yes.
that's really
Yeah.
what it was for me for years. And
Yeah,
then that whole passion thing, though. But I love golf, man. So
of course.
golf is I could blame golf for that because I chose to go down that path. And if you
Yeah,
choose
it's
to be
great.
in the golf industry, whether you're a pro or you're a
Mm,
retail general manager, you're not
mhm,
getting paid like you think you're getting paid. You better love the game. And nowadays, it's even
100%.
worse for all the pros that are out there. It's hard to find a good pro because they don't pay. You know, back in the day,
yep,
the pro owned the pro shop. You know, back in the
mhm,
day, the pro made a lot of money. He owned like we're talking like in the 80s and 70s. That was
yeah,
different.
okay.
Nowadays, you go through the PGA program, which I did, by the way. I didn't go through the
Oh, really?
program. I didn't go through the program, but when I was transitioning, I took the PAT, passed the test, and I was like, just in case I want to leave this retail thing because I love
Yeah,
it, but I do want to go be a head pro. And then I talked to these guys, and they weren't. There was too much turnover. There's
mm,
not enough money, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
yep.
So that I hope that answered your question. Though that was
No,
kind of
definitely.
where I was in that whole situation. But back to the drone thing, which is a game changer, by the way. I'm playing at the super high end club. The guy who's hosting me, he's loaded. His son has everything. So we're out. We're out. We have a caddy. That's kind of weird. And I've had caddies before, but it was like I had this caddy, and the kid says, "Hold on, man. I'm gonna get a photo of your shot." I'm like, "Sweet." I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "But I'm gonna fly a drone." I'm like, "You're gonna do what?" He's like, "Just hold on." So he sets his drone up in like 5 minutes or something, and I have a 9 iron, 145 yards, and he's like, when I say go, go, and he flies over me, and this is in 2014 or 15, by the way, which is
My
like
word.
almost 10 years ago. He flies over me, and then he follows the ball, and then he lands on the green, and like there's my ball right there, and he's like, "Dude, I'll send you that video," and I was like, "That was sick." I was like, "That's no big deal right now," but it was crazy because he's got this video of me at this high end club
Yeah.
balling, right? I'm just balling. I'm like, and then I'm hitting the ball, and I got this video now. So I go, all right, well, that's enough of that. I'm getting a drone. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I mean, and so I got that drone right around the same time that club I was telling you about reached out to me about photographing their place, and I did both.
Wow.
So I did aerial
Awesome.
photography, unlicensed, unpermitted. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on YouTube trying to find out how to freaking fly this thing, and like I feel it was a rocket science, but again, I'm not super technical guy, so I
There's a
was
learning curve to all that stuff. Oh my
there's a
goodness.
learning curve. Well, here's what happens. So this is for the photographer people out there or people that care. Like what you don't want to do is get so technical in this business that you lose your creativity. And what happens with me with this big old heavy camera that I don't know how to work and this drone that I'm worried about crashing into a tree, I forgot to take the picture. Like the whole point was like to get this shot, and I'm all worried about how to operate this or that's
Mhm.
horrible. So I think there are many people who miss the shot because
Mm.
they don't realize that there's a fine line between creative
Yeah.
and so anyway,
Wow.
that
That's
went
great.
really well for me, and I ended up. Do you want me to continue the story?
Well, yeah, well, you touched on something that was
Yeah,
really a stickler, and I had a question about this
yeah.
with just photographing and being all on the golf course. And we've got cameras, and we get to the point of where you get so focused on the shot that you actually lose being in the moment and
Mm,
being on the course and experiencing the actual beauty. And you capture the beauty so well through your photographs.
mm.
But and I did read as well that you actually walk the course sometimes before you take the photos, before you go out
Yeah,
and take the photos.
yeah.
What's your
You know,
reasoning
you know what
behind
that's
that?
called? That's called scouting, but
Okay.
technically it's like playing. So It is. So,
Yes.
but no,
Like
here's
playing
the
a
deal, though.
practice round if you're about to go
I'm telling
golf.
you right
Yeah.
now, I'm dead. So the way it works is, if I go to a place, I have no idea. I don't know the nuances of the golf course. So in order,
Mhm.
anybody can shoot photos of the course, but I don't understand it unless I play it. It's a whole nother experience. And if I have an opportunity to do it, I will. But I've done it where I haven't played the course. And what I'll do is I'll get my app on my phone, which shows me the sunrise and the sunset exactly where it
Okay.
is. It's a compass map thing. You've probably seen something like it. I'll see that the sun sets at 6:42 on the northeast corner. Well, what's over there? What holes are over there? So
Mm.
I'll go over there, scout it. Same with the sunrise, because I'm looking, and then I'm talking to the guys. What's the signature hole out here? What are we shooting? What are you looking for? And it's all about the light, right? So
Yep.
in golf photography and in photography, period, it's all about the light for me. So walking the course gives me a good understanding of where I am and the lay of the land. Um, I think that's important. And, I've got a shoot coming up that I've never been there before. And I'm
Wow.
always nervous, but I'll crush it. It doesn't matter I'll crush it because that's what keeps happening. It's like, it's almost good that I don't know it, because then I'm like super, like, I'm getting these angles that the
More
members.
creative almost. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I'm more creative because I don't even know where I am. That guy's like, "That's not hole number 3," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I've never seen it that way. Well, because
Mm.
like me either, right? Because I just shot it a way I saw something, and it just works out perfectly. So a lot of I say I'm gonna crush it because a lot of my photo shoots are like that, where I've been out to a property sight unseen, and the best day of the 3 or 4 day shoot was the first day. It's almost like always, if the weather's right. Like if you say, "Hey, can you shoot this weekend for me, Saturday and Sunday?" I'm gonna get there on Friday, and I'm gonna shoot on Friday, and I swear it'll be better than I can't explain it. I don't know if it's weather. It just keeps happening that way. So, yeah,
That's great.
that's kind of like why I scout the course, just so I can understand it a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
What I know it's probably tough question, but what is the number one your favorite golf course you've ever photographed?
Yeah, tough question. That's a
Yeah.
tough. Okay, so I'm not trying to get too deep, but here's the thing. Experiences are more important than
Mm-hmm.
images for me.
Hmm.
So I have to put that into context,
Oh, for
because
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm one of like a couple of licensees at Pebble Beach Golf Links, right?
Mhm.
At Pebble Beach Resort. There's only a couple of us that are allowed to photograph the golf courses there and sell the images.
Mm.
That place is amazing. Spyglass, Pebble, Spanish Bay, Del Monte, wherever you shoot up there, it's like there's these microclimates. There's always like weather. Weather, I like weather. I mean, there's always decent weather, but there's always clouds. There's always
Mm.
depth, and there's always the ocean, and there's just the feel, the vibe. It's like Monterey. It's a really special place. I mean, I would be remiss if I did. If I mean, that would. I mean, up there is probably like number one. I say
Okay.
up there, because it's not a course. It's just that area.
Mm.
But I've had really good experiences at other places that would make me go, well, that's my favorite place to shoot. One place in particular is Ballyneal in
I want to
Holyoke.
get into that
Colorado.
place.
Yeah, that place. I don't know what's going on up there. It's magical. It's just
Wow.
and it's because it's in the chop hills, is what they call it, of eastern Colorado. So the land is literally like kind of like that. So you get a lot of texture, you get a lot of undulation, a lot of shadows. There's no trees out there at all either, which is weird. There's not a tree,
Wow,
and you
that's
feel
awesome.
like you're like in Scotland or something.
Looks like you're in Abandoned Dunes or
Abandoned just, but
yeah.
there's no water, right? And you feel
Wow.
like there's water like right over there, and there's not. But you get somehow, I don't know what happens out there with the sunsets. The sunrises, I've never gotten a good sunrise. I've been shooting
Mm.
for them for 5 6 years, and like the first edition of Golfer's Journal was I was in that first edition. It was from images I did at Ballyneal, and it's very brown. It's very linksy. It's not some green Palm Springs like green grass. I mean, it's not
Right.
fake. It's kind of real. but the light out there is magical in the evening, and I've seen some incredible sunsets. So I would put that high up on the list. I mean, a lot of Hawaii courses that I've done are special
Oh,
too, but
I saw some Hawaii ones on your Instagram that are just
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah, there's some there. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. There's one. It's like the Jurassic Park golf course.
That's the
That
Instagram reel that I reposted that we got
dude, that
connected
that
off of.
thing, that place is crazy. Like you, I mean, I swear, you go there and you be like, I mean, I think I did a pretty good job of getting the essence of it
Mhm.
because it is dramatic. It's like every leaf is the size of my car. Like like one of
Wow.
those places. Like everything is like it's like Jurassic Park. I've never and you're playing golf in there. I'm like, how on earth are we? And you, if you lose the ball, it's gone. I mean, it's just like
Oh
it's a
yeah.
tough. If it's a tough golf course. But that's another cool place. But it's more about the experiences I have.
Mhm.
I've had some good ones, fortunately, at a lot of places, and the people make it for me too. And I've been very
Yeah.
welcome at most of the places I go to. The place I'm shooting next month that I don't, well, in July actually, it's at Castle Pines Golf
Okay.
Club. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
heard of that, but world famous golf course. They used to
Yeah.
have the international there. They've restored it, redone it, and I'm committed to doing a project for these guys. So I'm excited to go there. Place I've never been, sight unseen. I hope I crush it. I feel like I will, but I don't know what I'm getting into because I've never been there. So a lot of good ones.
Right.
We got a lot of favorites.
Yeah. So Ballyneal,
Yeah.
I had never even heard of that course until I read it on your website. We
Yeah.
love Colorado. We're getting married in Colorado.
Nice.
And so how in relation to that, like how far away east or close to Kansas? Because we drive
Well,
whenever going to Colorado from where Brev and I are at, we have to drive through eastern Colorado to get to
well, that's
Denver.
good because it's 3 hours east of Denver.
Okay. Wow.
So it's
Wow, so not
northeast.
too
It's
far
it's
from us.
almost it's no, I was gonna say it's like maybe an hour from Sand Hills or 45 minutes
Okay.
from Sand Hills, somewhere in there, which I've never been to. But number one course in Colorado is Ballyneal, and
Wow.
it gets that ranking. They just went down to number 30 something in the top 100 in the country. People like it. It's a special place. It's walking only, which is
Wow.
interesting. It's
That's
not a
amazing.
it's not an easy walk either. Every time I walk out there, I was like, oh my god, that's like it's like the like I don't know. There's a couple like hills that get you, I think, but the
Mm.
ground is also maybe a little soft, so it's not like a really easy walk. But it's walking only, and that becomes a part of the experience.
Hmm. I was just about to say, walking creates a whole new experience with
Absolutely,
golf. You
yeah,
get to experience where you're at, but also um, relish on the shot, that maybe the bad shot or the good shot that you just created, but also
yeah.
get your mind prepared for the shot that's about to come up. I mean, it's a
Plus, you
totally
walk.
different experience.
Yeah, plus you're like exercising for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a great
goodness.
Walk.
exercise.
If you can walk, walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some purists that they wouldn't even be in Palm. Like nobody walks in the Palm Springs area. There are 120 golf courses. No one walks, partially because most of the people are older. Plus, it's kind of there's a lot of resort courses. It'll slow
Yeah.
down pace of play probably at a lot of places, and it gets hot. But
Mm.
if you can walk, I think that's the best thing for you with golf, especially exercise wise. It keeps your For me, I had a back surgery probably 10 years ago, and
Okay.
I think it's golf related. To be honest with you, um, it is. But like the lack of stretching, the lack. So anytime I get a chance to walk, I'm walking. Even if we got a
Mhm.
cart and we're riding, I'll walk half the way. You know?
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you think the best part of your golf game is if you had to pick one?
Oh man, I'm just a grinder. I'm just a grinder. That's the best part. I'm like it's all around. It's pretty good. I mean, most people think
Mm.
it's my putting. Actually, I'll say it's my putting. It's my putting.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good putter. I can putt. And a lot of that is because at Rancho Park, like I told you guys, there's some
Yeah.
hustlers out there. Dude, we used to play these games, and we playing for money that I should have been playing for. And I learned how to putt quick.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
and it's like, um, it's one thing to be able to putt. It's another thing to be able to read greens. There's two different things there. You have to have a feel, but you also need to be able to read the green. I know people I've played with, you don't see that going left or right. It's like, what are you looking at? Like they don't see it going left or
No,
right.
for sure.
Well, they'll never be able to putt, right? Because
Yeah.
putting is confidence. You have to have every time I play well, I'm cocky about my game. Like I'm confident. Like every time I go, I'm that second guy, right? So you know how you always make the second. Now you missed it, then you go hit again. You always
Yeah.
make it, right?
Mhm.
I'm that guy. So I'll literally like in my mind, I stand over a chip or a putt and feel like I already missed it. And say to myself because it takes the pressure off of me, right? So I'm like, you know, it doesn't matter or that kind of thing. But putting's the strength, but everything else, I think the weakest part is my iron play. My driving is solid.
Yeah.
I'm like 280 guy off the tee. I'm at 250 3 wood, and
Yeah, that's good.
and I
Wow.
look like I'm swinging like a girl. Like you'll people.
You got a
all-
great swing. You got a great swing. Don't.
I'm telling you, they all go. You're. Every person says, "Man, you swing so smooth. How do you hit the ball so
The
far?"
tempo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all tempo because it's never at on the takeaway because all I'm trying to do is get it on plane. And then every good shot that I've seen where the power is, it's at the bottom. It's like the last like half of that swing. It's not, so I mean 280 is plenty. And when I hit it 280, I feel like I murdered it, right? Like
Oh, for
that's why
sure.
I don't know how these guys are hitting. He carried it 309. I'm like, what?
Well,
Like
yeah.
they're murdering the ball on tour. And then I look at my swing on camera, and I do look like I'm swinging like 50%. And then I watch the guy who carries it 319 hit it, and he's ripping it. I can't ever make it look like I ripped it on because I just don't. There's something that's not there that I can't. But I'm swinging like a 107 club head speed or
Yeah.
something. And those
But
guys
I
are
mean,
at
truly.
120.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. 120, 123.
It's
But
crazy.
truly less is more in golf. I mean,
It is.
it's unreal. We're baseball guys. We
Yeah.
grew up playing baseball, and
that
it's the
means
same
you
thing.
guys kill the ball then. No, both of you guys hit on the
But it
wall.
doesn't go straight, Channing.
Well, that's another
It
thing.
doesn't go
I know
straight.
you both hit it hard though.
Oh,
Every baseball player that I've played with, I like you play baseball. Yeah. Oh yeah, I play baseball. It's just there's something there. That and hockey too. Hockey players hit the ball.
oh, really?
Yeah,
I played both actually, but I only played hockey till about 7th grade, so that's not really. I don't really
well,
claim
it's
that.
still though. It's that stick, the hand eye. I mean, you put a swing on it. And my thing with golf though, and I've learned this is the only real thing I learned is that the sweet spot is only so big. If I swing 100%, I'm gonna either hit it toe heel. I might hit it in the middle sometimes. If I do my little smooth, I'm gonna be closer to the middle. It's gonna go as far, if not further, than the toe job or the heel job at 100%. So that's kind of in my mind. It's like I just want to hit the middle of the face.
Yeah, of
Without a
course.
doubt.
That's so true.
Hit it pure.
I think going back to, I don't know if you're a fan or if you've heard of Eric Anders Lang, and what you said is like you're that guy that thinks about the second shot. You've already missed taking a bad shot the first time. He has a phrase that I really catered to is like the ball has already landed, and how it's the exact same thing, but it's so hard for me to do. And when you're over the shot, to actually think about the ball has already landed, you just smooth tempo. It's already
where did it land though? In the bunker or
yeah, exactly.
But ball's already landed. Okay, where?
Yeah, but that's the thing too. It's just like you have to be okay with that, and you have to be okay and be able to adjust and adapt and overcome on that second shot, no matter where it goes.
And that's the beauty of golf because you transfer that kind of thought to life. I mean, and a million times it all like transfers. Everything with whether it doesn't matter what it is. And I'm trying to get my son involved with golf, which he's not interested. He just wants to go fishing. Period. He just wants to fish.
Hey, that's a great thing to do too.
Yeah, that's a good
but I don't fish. That's the problem.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
There's a little bit of discrepancy there.
Yeah, there is that, and then if you're only fishing, you're always by yourself. So like you can be with your buddy, but here with golf, you got some action. You can get with a group of people, but then there's that whole like life lessons that you learn with golf. And anyway, I'm not pushing into that. I just letting them just do this. Yeah,
of course.
Oh, it's as far as like, I mean, the golf and life thing, we talk about it all the time, and it really is almost a mirror image. But both of us having sports backgrounds, I mean, we're just so golf is so good for us in that aspect. But just having the sports background, like just being so competitive and just having that drive, it's
That's what.
like we have to play well, like we
Yeah.
have to play, or
That's
else
right.
it's like, why am I there? You know, like I
Why are
want to
you
be so
there if
good.
you're not
Yeah.
going to win? We're here to win.
And it's
Yeah.
it's not a cheap hobby. So it's
No.
like,
No,
I
it's
mean,
That's
yeah,
what's going back to what you said at the very beginning. It's like it's hard for us to drink on a course because we're so competitive. Just like we
yeah,
would
because you
love to do
already
it. We
know.
love to do it, but I'm gonna get even more frustrated that I'm
Exactly.
drinking and I'm playing bad.
Well, because it's like you're done, and you go, well, I would have, or it's like coulda, shoulda, woulda,
Yeah,
right?
that's
If
true.
I was drinking, well, now I'd like to go no excuses. The
no
only reason
excuses. Yeah.
I have is
Mhm.
my ability to get it done.
Yeah.
I've done some qualifiers and played in some events that,
Oh
man,
wow.
it's just different. I did a U.S. Open qualifier, Mid-Am qualifier, and just the pressure and the whole thing. It's just a different thing. And I like that challenge. Like I'm never going to be good enough to make it, but just getting out there and like putting that pressure on myself to like, all you got to do is tell like a handful of people to, and then that makes it even worse, right? Because they all, how'd you do? And you're there, and that
Oh, for
people know,
sure.
hey, and it's but it's good for your game because then after that's over, everything else is like, oh, it's smooth. Like, there's
That's
no
great.
pressure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I hate when the group behind me is watching me, let alone pressure like that.
Yeah.
Whenever they let you
Or
pass, you can
wait,
pass.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say the playing through pressure, like when the guys
Yeah.
let you play through and then you just hack it and chop it, and it's like, oh, dude,
You're like,
that's
I'm
the.
bad, but I'm not this bad, I promise.
Usually, if somebody lets me play through, I'll be like, you know what, I'll just skip this. I'll just go the next one. Like I want, just give you some space and just get way ahead of them so they don't have.
Exactly.
That's funny.
How was playing with J.R. Smith?
It
How
was
did that
cool.
story?
So
How did you get connected with him? And
I connected with him because I'm friends with a guy named Stephen Malbon. Malbon and I go back a little way.
really?
So he and we've played a lot of golf, spent a lot of time together. So he called me and said that his friend is in town and could I host him? And I was like, well, I think so. And he's like, yeah. So JR, and I don't know him. And so we just
Mhm.
met randomly. So we text each other, and then I hosted him at a really nice club here. And I, so you guys, believe it or not, I have no idea who J.R. Smith is, just so you know. I do now. I'm telling you, this is the truth. So I'm horrible. Like I'm not super into sports. So I'm
Okay.
into golf and
Mhm.
into like final four. I'm into the finals. I'm into
Right.
UFC and I'm into like that. But I don't like know a lot about. So I don't follow sports like that. So I don't know who he is. And so I do know he's a basketball player. Steven gave me some heads up, but so I
Just
don't
a
know.
collegiate golfer, that's it.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that either, right? So the funny thing is I bring him out to this club and I'm thinking, well, he's a basketball player. He probably plays in these like little outings that, tournaments
Mm.
that the ball players and playing and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm gonna help him, right? So we get to the range and he just like no stretching. He just like starts hitting balls, but he was like hitting them. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I think this guy might be able to play. So I was watching him and he was like pure in it. And I said, this
Wow.
guy, he can play golf. So we get out to the first hole. He hits and he murdered the ball. He hit it. I mean, so J.R. Smith can play golf. I'm telling you that right now. I don't,
Yeah.
maybe you know that, but I didn't. He, sight unseen, the slope rating on this course is 141 from the tips.
Okay. Wow.
He shot one over. Had
Really?
never seen the course. I beat him on the front nine. I'll just tell you that. So I gave him shots. So my
Okay.
index is plus 0.5. His index, he told me, was like a 3. I'm going to look it up. He didn't play to a 3. So I gave him shots and I won on the front. But then he just like we got to the 11th hole and I started doing a little Instagram story. And
Mhm.
so tell me, Stephen, you're one down in back nine, and what's going to happen here?" And he put on his like game face. I can't remember what he said.
Oh,
He said
lock it
something
in.
like let's work or something. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I'm screwed. And I was screwed because he went in this whole nother zone and
Mhm.
just he won the back. He won the back in the total. But he was fun
Wow.
to play with, good gentleman. Then we went out and had
That's great.
dinner, and we had a dinner and talked about his situation and what he's doing, and it
So
was cool.
cool.
So I have a thing called golfography experience where
We looked into that. Yeah.
yeah, so I started that. There's a guy named Patrick Koenig. He's another golf photographer. He's a buddy of mine. We met on Instagram years ago, and through that network, I had him host a couple of these with me. But basically, people would send me DMs all the time about,
Hmm.
dude, you're living the dream, and you're playing all these nice
Mm.
fairway, like all green, and your all the sunsets, your picture. Like we want to live the dream, and like I'd love to carry your lens for you, be a lens caddy. And I hear that. I no, it's serious. I hear it every day.
Wow.
Every day I get that, and so I go, well, what? Like I can't take all these people. Like no one's going. Like what can I do? So I put a little poll in there and said, would anyone be interested in a golf photography like workshop? I hate to call it workshop because it sounds like we're gonna like sit there with a bunch of mitts and like take notes,
Right.
like experience, like a golf photography, like a golfography, like golf and photography experience.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, we're in, we're in. I get all these people were in. So I had it my first one like in 2019 here in California. It went awesome. I had a guy. So Patrick was a co-host for with me. I told him I was going to do this. He goes, "Dude, I'm all about that. I'm in." And so he came, and then there's another friend of mine, Golf in Your State. I don't know if you know that guy, but
I
he's got
believe
his
I heard of that.
yeah, he's got his. It's kind of like a earthy, kind of like a organic
Okay.
thing
Yeah.
he does. He's got a different program going, totally different than me. But um, he wanted to be a part of it, so I did this. We crushed it, and then I was able to secure a relationship with a place called the Dormy Network. And Dormy Network has 7 or 8 golf properties around the country where you literally they have cottages. You stay there. The golf course is amazing. The food is amazing, and you go there for like a weekend retreat. They have a place in Indiana called Victoria National. They have Ballyhack in Virginia. They have Hidden Creek in New Jersey, Arbor Links in Nebraska, Briggs Ranch in Texas. So there are a couple other ones. So we decided that we were going to partner, and I would host my golf photography workshops there. How good is that, right? Like now I
That's
have a
amazing.
venue. This is a venue where someone can live the dream. They can come there, be at some amazing course, eat some incredible food that's like fit to that region too. If we're in Texas, all
Oh
barbecue and
wow.
they're making the pig. Like everything's perfect. We're gonna take amazing golf photos, shoot the shit with golf, and talk golf,
Yeah.
golf photography, and it's the perfect scenario. So I've been able to do like 6 or 7 of those. My next one is at Hidden Creek, which we haven't been to, which is in New Jersey.
Really.
That is in July, and then I'll make a formal announcement about that coming up. But then the other one is at Reynolds Lake in Georgia. So Reynolds Lake is an
Oh,
incredible place.
that'd be
They have like
sick.
9 golf courses, and that'll be in October. So a person who's interested can go on the golfography, follow
Yeah. I was
that
gonna
account.
say, where can you find it? Are they sold out already? Do you do for
Well,
those?
so the October is not sold out. I haven't announced it. I'm going to do
Yeah.
that probably next month. The one at Hidden Creek is small. It's intimate. It's only for 8 people.
Oh wow.
I couldn't even bring that up. I was going to tell you that I'm going to get Jr. to be a special guest at one of these. So
That's
the
great.
way these have worked is I had like Matt Janella be a special guest at the one here in Palm Springs. I've had different people like in different you know parts of the business that could be interesting to be a part of the experience for a weekend, come and talk to us about whatever they do. So one year we had it wasn't Paige Spranick, but it was
Oh, my roommates would freak out.
yeah, well no, well, this one she was
Is
pretty
it?
good. She's
Oh
blonde.
my
What's
goodness. Oh my
well
goodness.
she
It's Paige Griffith.
no,
No.
I'll
Um.
DM. I'll DM you later.
I know
Jim.
exactly who you're talking about. She's done videos with Eric.
Well, either way, she's an influencer, so bringing her
Yes.
in was
That's
twofold.
fantastic.
One is you want to, if you guys are interested, we're going to have like an hour where we
Yes.
do portrait photography. We're going to take her out to the green, bounce some light on her, and show you composition and show you how to take a good photo of a hot chick. The other part is like she's going to talk during the breakout about who she is and how she got to be who she is, and like how she her social media, whether you're interested or not. That's what she's doing. So each one of these golfographies will have a different guest and a different focus, and so it's cool. So yeah, the golfography experience Instagram page would kind of be. There's also the website, golfography experience, but that Instagram page is usually where I
Very
announce
cool.
what we do, and yeah, I
Awesome.
try to keep it intimate, like because if you guys both paid to come,
Yeah.
you would want a little bit of time. Like if there's 20
Yeah.
people, I'm not gonna be able to talk to
Right.
you. And I mean, I will,
course.
but it's not gonna be like. So if there's only like 8 people in like 2 foursomes, when we go out for a sunrise photo shoot, I can come over there and talk to everybody and work with you and tell you what I think you're doing. And it's just a little bit better. It's always
Mhm.
been the goal of it, but we've had some demand where it's like like it's ruining the intention. The intention is to
Mhm.
have intimate golf and photography experience. So I'm getting back to that.
Is
Yeah.
it Claire Hogel? Is that
No,
who
my
it
note
is?
is. Let
Okay.
me tell you, you're killing me with that. I'm embarrassed. That I
I'm
can't
stuck.
tell you what
I'm
her
stuck.
name is.
It's all right.
We'll just
She
we'll
probably
cut
won't.
that part
Yeah,
out,
we'll
and
cut
then
that part out, or she probably won't see this
Her
anyway.
name
So.
is Katie Kearney.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I know who
Okay.
that is.
Yep.
Like
Wow.
Kear. Well, she just got
Yep.
married. I think her name is different now, but anyway,
Okay.
she came to like the second or third one, and she she did her
That's
thing.
so cool.
That's
But
fantastic.
this one coming up, I'm gonna have a couple other.
Yeah, you don't
There,
have to give it away if you don't want to. They
there's
totally
a
don't.
couple. There's gonna be there are a couple good ones there, and
That's great.
It'll be good. Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, we want to respect your time. I know we need to get off of here quickly here. We'll just give you a couple rapid fire questions. I know we wouldn't get to everything today. We'd love to have you back on. I know you're busy, but we just have a couple questions for you, rapid fire. And first off, I think next time, if you'd be willing to come back on again, we're gonna have to get into Stephen Malvin because we love his clothing brand.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
he is fantastic.
they are a sponsor of the golfography experience too.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, they've been a supporter and a partner, and
Such
but yeah,
cool new
they got a
school
cool
swag.
very niche, very
Yes.
very cool. I like the little logo.
I love the golf ball with the bucket hat.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Favorite brand? What's your favorite golf brand?
Golf brand TaylorMade.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Got you.
I love it.
Do you have any annual golf traditions you do?
No.
You're just golf all the time.
Interesting.
I mean, and are you kind of hinting toward like like an outing kind of tradition, or is it like what? Like, give me an example of a golf tradition.
A specific tournament you play at a course every year, or a group of friends go somewhere every year.
Just so you know, I play golf like 18 holes, like 4 days a week.
That's amazing.
No, I'm serious.
We want to get to that.
That's
I probably average 3 days a week. I probably average like, I don't know how many holes a week, but it's all good golf. That's not like some. So like you just said, I play golf every day. I don't have a tradition. It's just like we're playing. I don't know.
Right.
That's awesome.
Should I get one? Maybe I should get one.
Well, you got your golfography. That's a tradition that you guys are doing.
That is a tradition.
That's definitely something you've got going for sure right now. Camera gear. What do you use for your camera?
Okay.
Your lenses?
Yeah. So everything I have is Nikon. So I have a Z9 body, and I have all Z series. My gamer is a 70 to 200 2.8 lens. My 24
it's a 2.8 and a 70 to 200.
Yeah, and it's the gamer. It's like if I could get rid of everything.
That's fantastic.
Shoot with that thing. It's so clean and sharp. But the best part of that camera body is the image stabilization for me. So I shoot 99% handheld. I'm not a tripod guy. I'll do tripod if I'm doing long exposures or something that, I've been able to do a long exposure with this like thing in my hand. That's how clean it is. So, um, yeah, that's the most important part. I've had other brands, and I've just felt like I come home and I'm like, they're not as sharp. And with
Mm,
this, I don't miss a shot. It's crazy. It's
that's
like I'm not
awesome.
good. The camera is, so yeah.
What golf clubs do you swing?
So I just made a switch, but I have a stealth driver.
Okay.
I have TaylorMade Sim fairway woods, but I switched from a 3 and a 5 to a 4 and a 7, which is really interesting. It's a 16
Interesting.
and a half 4 wood, and it's a 21-degree 7 wood. I
Wow.
have two sets of irons. One are the TaylorMade MCs, the new kind of blades.
Oh yeah, those are
Yeah.
awesome.
The other set I have are Mizuno 225s. So the 225s are kind of like
No.
they look platy, but they're really thick. They're the opposite of these
Really?
other ones. And
Okay.
I'm into those because I fired a 66 with them not too long ago, and it was simply
Wow.
because the iron that was my best iron play though, and putting. I'll put it all together. But those
Yeah.
irons are wider soles, so there's more bounce, and I
Okay.
don't dig as much. If I play a soft, you know, I'd have a problem if I took those like Bandon dudes because it's hard as a rock. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing it like pebble or some wet golf course, I'm in trouble with the MCs, right? Because the
Yeah.
blade gotta pick it, and so I need a little more bounce. And then you're looking down at the club, confidence at address. I need to see something a little bit
Yeah,
bigger.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
definitely.
that's the product of and ego with golf. People need to listen. You play whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's some tour players. I remember when KJ Choi was playing like ping G5s or something, irons and big old chunky
Yeah.
offset. Who cares, right?
Yeah,
It's all
whatever
about
works.
getting the ball. I'm not trying to shape shots. I'm trying to hit the ball at the flag. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's what blades are for. They're for cutting and for draw. Who's doing that? Nobody.
Yeah.
Pack
Only yeah, exactly. Only the
or
legends.
or those guys like a flat ball flight, and if you play a blade, you're gonna flight it lower. I get that part too, but
Yeah,
anyway.
I saw a video of Tiger that he was talking to Scotty about how when he's flushing it, he doesn't even take divots. And I was amazed. I was like,
Clean, so
this
clean.
is unreal.
Yeah, Scotty looked at him like he was speaking Spanish.
Yeah. He's like, did you learn that? Or like, do you choose to do that?
That's so funny. Hey, one other thing I want to tell you about the
Yes.
iron stuff is the 225s are longer distance wise. So as you get older, you need distance. And I've noticed I can hit the ball far, but I don't hit it as far as I used to. So
Mm,
for whatever reason, they're not stronger and loft. It's not like the pitching wedge is a 9 iron, but the ball speed is higher. The ball just comes off faster,
mm.
and I'm hitting it further. So that's the other reason. I need to I
Great.
need to I need to hit a 9 iron 145 forever.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I have to change clubs to do it,
Change
that's what
clubs. Exactly. That's such a,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
definitely. Well, I'm good. Thank you so much
absolutely. I enjoyed talking to you guys,
for
man.
being
Thanks
flexible
for sure.
and coming on here. Maybe next time we'll have to find a way to get in person and do a podcast in person. We'd love to do that. So we
All right.
truly appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, and congrats in advance on the wedding, and
Thank you.
And all the best to you. And let me know. Yeah, I'll be happy to do it again.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
you
you,
so
Channing.
much.
We'll keep in touch.
Okay, guys, take care.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Okay, bye-bye.